Urgent moon. Warnings from March 9015. Don't ignore this energy shift. It will affect everyone. Since ancient times, the moon has been seen as a guide, shaping emotions, shifting energies, and influencing the unseen forces around us. In today's fast-moving world, we often dismiss these cosmic changes, unaware of how deeply they affect our thoughts, feelings, and decisions. But whether we notice it or not, the moon's energy is always working in the background. From March 9 to 15, a major energetic shift is coming, one that could bring clarity or chaos, depending on how you navigate it. Some will feel an awakening, a powerful push toward transformation. Others may experience unexpected emotional turbulence. But here's the truth. Understanding this shift can help you stay balanced, focused, and in harmony with life's natural flow. In this video, we'll uncover the deeper meaning of this lunar cycle, its impact on your energy, and how you can harness its power instead of being overwhelmed by it. Stay with me as we explore how this cosmic event can be a turning point in your journey. Welcome to the Journey of Wisdom. Let's begin. Number 1. Your regrets. Regret is a weight that many carry, often without realizing how deeply it affects their present and future. The past is unchangeable, yet our minds have a way of revisiting it, replaying mistakes like an old film that never fades. The choices we wish we had made differently, the words spoken in anger, or the chances we let slip away, these can haunt us if we allow them to. But as the Buddha wisely said, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. Regret, when shared excessively or dwelled upon, only serves to strengthen the chains that bind us to suffering. It keeps us stuck in a cycle of self-blame, draining our energy and blinding us to the possibilities of today. Instead of letting regret define you, use it as a tool for self-awareness and transformation. Every mistake carries a lesson, and wisdom is born from understanding where we went wrong, not from endlessly punishing ourselves for it. This is especially relevant in today's world, where many feel pressured by societal expectations, career demands, and personal responsibilities. We live in an era where past failures are amplified by social media, comparisons, and the constant illusion that others are always doing better. But true wisdom lies in letting go of the illusion of perfection and embracing the reality of growth. Holding on to regret is like carrying a heavy stone up a mountain. It serves no purpose except to slow you down. If your regrets can teach you something, acknowledge them, learn from them, and then set them down. There is no shame in making mistakes. The only tragedy is refusing to grow from them. When you feel the urge to share your regrets, ask yourself, is this serving my growth, or am I just reopening old wounds? In the end, what matters is not the past that weighs behind you, but the steps you take forward. Let your lessons guide you, not your regrets. Number 2. Your inner peace. Inner peace is not something given to us by the world. It is something we cultivate, like a garden that requires patience, care, and protection. Yet, have you ever noticed how fragile this peace can be? A single argument, a moment of doubt, or even a careless comment from someone else can shake the foundation of our tranquility. In today's world, where opinions are loud and emotions run high, it is easy to let external forces dictate our inner state. But the Buddha teaches, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. This wisdom reminds us that true serenity does not depend on the approval of others or the circumstances we face. It is rooted in how we choose to respond. Too often, we unknowingly hand over our peace by seeking validation, engaging in unnecessary conflicts, or allowing the moods of others to influence us. When we constantly share our thoughts, emotions, and struggles with the world, we invite opinions that may not align with our truth. Some may support us, but others may criticize, doubt, or envy, leaving us vulnerable to emotional turbulence. This is why Buddhism emphasizes detachment, not in the sense of isolation, but in the practice of guarding our inner world from unnecessary disturbances. There is an old Zen story about a wise monk who was falsely accused of wrongdoing. Instead of defending himself or reacting with anger, he simply responded with 2 words, "Is that so?" He remained unshaken, knowing that his inner peace was his own responsibility, not something others could take from him. How often do we let the words and judgments of others dictate our mood, when in reality their opinions are just passing clouds in the vast sky of our mind? Protecting your peace does not mean shutting yourself off from the world. It means being mindful of what you allow to enter your heart. It means choosing which battles are worth fighting and which ones are simply distractions. Instead of reacting impulsively to negativity, we can learn to observe, breathe, and let go. By treating your inner peace like a sacred temple, one that you do not allow just anyone to enter, you create a life of resilience and clarity. In the end, no one else can give you peace, and no one else can take it away unless you allow them to. Hold on to your stillness and let it be your guiding force in an ever-changing world. Number 3, your material successes. Success. What does it truly mean to you? In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in the idea that success is defined by what we own, the car we drive, the house we live in, the vacations we take. Social media only amplifies this, turning life into a highlight reel where people showcase their latest purchases, luxury experiences, and financial achievements. But what is the cost of this constant display? When we measure our worth by material things, we unknowingly invite comparison, envy, and even dissatisfaction. The Buddha taught, attachment leads to suffering. When we cling to material success as proof of our value, we set ourselves up for a cycle of endless wanting, because there will always be something newer, bigger, or better. Wealth and possessions are not inherently bad, but when they become the core of our identity, they lose their ability to bring true fulfillment. Real success isn't measured by the things you own, but by the life you create. Do you wake up with a sense of purpose? Do you have meaningful relationships? Do you experience peace in your heart? These are the measures of a truly rich life. Lao Tzu once said, "He who knows he has enough is rich." This wisdom reminds us that contentment is not about accumulating more, but about appreciating what we already have. Of course, it's natural to feel proud of your achievements, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying the fruits of your labor. But before you share your material successes with the world, ask yourself, why am I sharing this? Is it to inspire others, or is it to seek validation? Will this post uplift or create unnecessary comparison? Too often we seek approval without realizing it, hoping to be seen, admired, or envied. But true confidence doesn't need to be broadcasted. When you are truly at peace with your success, you don't feel the need to prove anything to anyone. The most successful people are often those who quietly build lives of meaning rather than those who loudly display their wealth. There's a Buddhist story about a wise monk who lived a simple life, but was deeply respected for his wisdom and kindness. A wealthy man once visited him and, eager to impress, spoke endlessly about his riches, his influence, and his achievements. The monk listened patiently and then poured tea into a cup until it overflowed. The wealthy man, confused, exclaimed, "The cup is full. "No more will fit." The monk smiled and replied, "Like this cup, your mind is too full of what you own." How can there be space for wisdom? This story reminds us that when we focus too much on material gain, we leave no room for the things that truly matter: wisdom, compassion, and personal growth. Instead of measuring life by the things you collect, measure it by the moments that bring you joy, the relationships that bring you love, and the wisdom that brings you peace. True wealth is not in what you own, but in what you give, how you grow, and the impact you leave on the world. In the end, no possession can replace the deep satisfaction of a life well lived. If you've made it this far, you're in tune with the universe's energy. Drop a comment saying, "I align with the shift," to show you're embracing this powerful transformation. Stay connected. Greater insights are on the way. Number 4, your negative thoughts. The Buddha once said, "Your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts." This simple yet profound truth reminds us that the greatest battles we face are not always external, but often lie within our own minds. Our thoughts shape our reality, influencing how we see the world, how we treat others, and ultimately how we live our lives. The mind is like a garden, and we are its caretakers. When we plant seeds of gratitude, kindness, and understanding, our inner world flourishes, bringing us peace, clarity, and strength. But if we allow negativity to take root, resentment, fear, self-doubt, our inner world becomes overgrown with weeds that choke our happiness and drain our energy. It is far too easy to focus on what's wrong, to dwell on past mistakes, to criticize others, or to get lost in cycles of self-defeating thoughts. But each time we do, we are not just harming ourselves, we are sending ripples of negativity into the world, affecting those around us and reinforcing the suffering we wish to escape. Words, born from thoughts, hold great power. They can heal or harm, uplift or destroy. Once spoken, they cannot be taken back. This is why the Buddha emphasized right speech, teaching us to speak only what is true, kind, and beneficial. In today's world, where negativity spreads like wildfire, on social media, in conversations, in the way we react to daily frustrations, being mindful of our words is more important than ever. If what you are about to say does not serve a positive purpose, consider whether it is worth saying at all. Too often, negative speech is simply an extension of negative thinking, a reflection of an untamed mind. But just as a gardener can remove weeds and plant flowers in their place, so too can we reshape our thinking, replacing destructive thoughts with those that nourish and uplift. A Buddhist story tells of a young disciple who constantly complained about his problems. One day, his master gave him a handful of salt and asked him to put it in a glass of water and drink. The disciple did so and immediately spat it out, saying it was bitter. Then the master led him to a vast lake and told him to throw the same handful of salt into the water. When the disciple drank from the lake, the bitterness was gone. The master smiled and said, "The pain of life is like this salt. The amount of pain remains the same, but how we experience it depends on the space we give it." Negative thoughts are like that salt. When we let them consume us, they seem unbearable. But when we expand our perspective, focusing on gratitude, wisdom, and self-awareness, their bitterness fades into insignificance. This lesson is crucial in modern life, where stress, competition, and comparison often lead to negative thinking. We worry about the future, regret the past, and dwell on what we lack instead of appreciating what we have. But negativity is a choice, just as positivity is. When we choose to focus on solutions instead of problems, on growth instead of failure, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. The moon's energy shift from March 9 to 15 will intensify emotions, making it even more important to be mindful of our inner dialogue. This is a time when unresolved fears may resurface, when doubt may creep in, and when external events may test our patience. But instead of being controlled by these shifts, use them as opportunities for self-reflection. When a negative thought arises, don't feed it, observe it, question it, and then let it go. Shift your focus to what brings peace, not what steals it. The words you speak, both to yourself and others, shape your reality. If you constantly tell yourself you are not good enough, that life is unfair, or that happiness is out of reach, your mind will believe it. But if you train yourself to see possibilities instead of limitations, to speak with kindness instead of criticism, and to nurture a mindset of gratitude, your entire experience of life will change. Instead of carrying the weight of negativity, choose to lighten your load. Tend to your thoughts as a gardener tends to his most cherished plants. Remove the weeds, water the roots of positivity, and watch your life bloom into something beautiful. Number 5, your personal struggles with others. Conflict is an unavoidable part of life. Whether with family, friends, or a partner, disagreements are natural. But have you ever noticed how easy it is to turn a small argument into a much bigger issue simply by talking about it too much? When we face personal struggles, the first instinct is often to vent, to share our frustrations with others, hoping for validation or support. While this can feel comforting in the moment, have you ever stopped to consider the impact of constantly speaking about negativity? The Buddha once said, "Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace." This wisdom reminds us that not every thought or feeling needs to be spoken aloud. When we overshare our conflicts, we not only keep ourselves stuck in the same cycle of frustration, but we also spread that energy to others, often causing unnecessary tension, misunderstanding, or even turning others against the people we are struggling with. Have you ever told a friend about an argument with someone, and later, even after you resolved it, your friend still held negative feelings toward that person? This happens because words create impressions, and once spoken, they shape how others see our relationships. Not everyone can offer unbiased advice, and sometimes the people we confide in project their own emotions onto our situation, making it even harder to find clarity. Instead of constantly voicing frustration, what if we approached conflict with mindfulness and self-awareness? Buddhism teaches us the importance of right speech, to speak only what is true, beneficial, and spoken with kindness. There is an old Buddhist story of two monks who were traveling together and came across a river where a woman was struggling to cross. The older monk picked her up, carried her across, and set her down on the other side. They continued their journey in silence, but after hours of walking, the younger monk could no longer contain himself. "Why did you carry that woman?" he asked. "We monks are not supposed to touch women." The older monk simply replied, "I set her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" This story is a powerful reminder that holding on to negativity, whether through thoughts, words, or emotions, only weighs us down. The same applies to our conflicts. The more we talk about them unnecessarily, the heavier they become. Now, this doesn't mean you should suppress your feelings or never seek guidance. There are times when sharing your struggles is necessary for growth, but it should be done wisely. Choose carefully whom you confide in, someone who offers wisdom, not just sympathy. Seek solutions, not just validation. And most importantly, don't let the conflict define you. Holding on to resentment or replaying arguments in your mind only extends the suffering. Instead, practice detachment. understanding that all emotions, anger, frustration, sadness, are temporary. Just as the phases of the moon shift, so too do our emotions and relationships. If we hold on too tightly to the moment of conflict, we may miss the opportunity for resolution and healing. True strength in relationships comes not from how loudly we express our struggles, but from how gracefully we navigate them. By choosing silence when needed, speaking with wisdom when necessary, and letting go of unnecessary negativity, you create space for peace, understanding, and stronger relationships. In the end, what you don't say can be just as powerful as what you do. Number 6. Your plans. The journey towards success is deeply personal, yet many of us feel the urge to share our plans with others, hoping for encouragement, validation, or even just excitement. But have you ever stopped to consider how speaking too much about your dreams might actually weaken them? The Buddha wisely taught, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment." When we become too attached to our future goals, we unknowingly create pressure, expectations, and even self-doubt. The more we talk about what we plan to do, the more we invite external opinions, some supportive, some skeptical, and some filled with doubt, whether intentional or not. You might start a new business, pursue a big career change, or embark on a personal project, feeling energized and motivated. But as soon as you share your vision, the questions start coming. Are you sure this will work? What if it fails? Isn't that too risky? Even if people don't mean to discourage you, their words plant seeds of hesitation. Slowly, what once felt like an exciting journey becomes clouded by uncertainty. The energy surrounding our goals is delicate. When we expose them too soon, we allow external influences to shape our confidence. When you move quietly, you protect your energy from unnecessary distractions. The Buddha once told the story of a farmer who carefully planted his crops, but was too eager to see them grow. Every day he would pull at the seedlings, hoping to speed up the process, only to find that his impatience stunted their growth. Our goals are the same. Talking about them too much is like pulling at the roots before they have a chance to strengthen. Instead of rushing to share, allow them the time and space to develop. It's not about hiding your dreams, it's about nurturing them with the right mindset. When you share your plans, ask yourself, am I seeking validation, or am I truly ready for feedback? If it's the former, staying silent may be the best gift you can give yourself. Your vision does not need constant external approval to be valid. The greatest artists, innovators, and leaders often worked behind the scenes, dedicating themselves fully to their craft before ever stepping into the spotlight. Why? Because they knew that true success is built through quiet, consistent effort, not through empty declarations. There's something undeniably powerful about achieving something without announcing it in advance. When you arrive at success without constantly explaining how you got there, people take notice. The results speak louder than any words ever could. Think about someone you know who started something new without broadcasting it. Over time, you saw them flourish, not because they talked about their goals, but because they worked toward them with discipline and dedication. Their success carried a different kind of weight. It wasn't about proving anything to anyone, but about genuine achievement. In contrast, how many times have you seen someone loudly declare their plans, only to never follow through? Talking about a goal can sometimes trick the mind into believing progress is already being made, when in reality, no real action has occurred. This is why the quiet worker, The one who moves with purpose but without unnecessary noise often reaches their destination with greater clarity and strength. If your goals are truly important to you, then treat them like a sacred fire, one that needs to be protected from the wind of outside opinions. When we focus inward, trusting in our own ability to build, create, and grow, we gain something even more valuable than success. We gain confidence in ourselves. The world does not need to know every step you take. The results will be your voice, your success will be your proof, and your journey will be yours alone to own. Number 7. Your vulnerability. Vulnerability is part of the human experience. There is no avoiding it. When we go through hardships, our natural instinct is to reach out, to find comfort in the presence of others, and to share our struggles with those we believe will understand. But have you ever considered the weight of the words you share? Not everyone who listens is truly listening, and not everyone who offers a smile carries good intentions. The Buddha taught, "Your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts." In the same way, unguarded words, spoken in moments of weakness, can sometimes bring more harm than healing. While opening up can be a necessary step toward growth, wisdom lies in knowing when, how, and to whom you reveal your deepest struggles. In a world where people are quick to judge, quick to gossip, and quick to misunderstand, not everyone deserves access to your vulnerability. Think about the times you have confided in someone, only to later regret it. Perhaps they dismissed your pain, judged you silently, or worse, used your words against you. This is the risk we take when we share without discernment. In life, where social media makes oversharing a norm, people expose their wounds to the world, hoping for empathy, only to receive criticism or indifference. But what does that really accomplish? The truth is, not everyone who hears your struggles will hold them with care. Some may offer false support while secretly feeling superior, others may spread your words carelessly, and some may not care at all. This is why Buddhism emphasizes self-awareness, not just in understanding ourselves, but in recognizing who is worthy of our trust. There's a well-known Buddhist story about a scorpion and a monk. One day the monk saw a scorpion drowning in a river and reached out to save it. As soon as he touched it, the scorpion stung him. Despite the pain, he tried again, and once more the scorpion stung him. A passerby watching the scene asked, "Why do you keep trying to save the scorpion when it keeps harming you?" The monk replied, "It is in the scorpion's nature to sting, but it is in my nature to help." This story teaches us a vital lesson. While we may have kindness and openness in our nature, we must also recognize the nature of those around us. Some people are simply not capable of offering the kindness or support we expect, and continuing to trust them blindly will only lead to more pain. So, how do you protect your vulnerabilities without shutting yourself off from the world? The key is discernment. Choose wisely whom you confide in. True friends, trusted mentors, those who have consistently shown integrity and compassion. A person's actions over time reveal more about their trustworthiness than their words in a single moment. If someone has betrayed your trust before, what makes you think they won't do it again? If someone consistently judges others, what makes you believe they won't judge you? If someone thrives on gossip, how can you be certain your secrets won't be their next conversation topic? Strength is not in sharing everything with everyone. It is in knowing what to keep sacred and who has earned the right to hear your truth. However, this does not mean you should carry your burdens alone. Buddhism teaches balance. There is a time for solitude and a time for connection. Finding the right people to share with can be healing, but overexposing your pain to the wrong audience can make your wounds deeper. Some battles are meant to be fought internally, through self-reflection, meditation, and inner work. Not every struggle needs an audience. The moon, in its wisdom, moves through phases. There are times when it shines brightly for all to see, and times when it withdraws into darkness, recharging its energy. Likewise, there are moments to speak and moments to be silent, moments to share and moments to guard your heart. True strength is not measured by how many people know your pain, but by how well you navigate through it with wisdom. The most powerful healing often happens in silence, in reflection, and in the presence of those who truly understand. When you choose wisely, you create a space for real support and growth, free from the weight of judgment and betrayal. In the end, your vulnerabilities are sacred. Treat them as such, and only entrust them to those who will honor them with the respect they deserve. Number 8. Good deeds. True kindness is rare in a world where so many acts of generosity are performed with an expectation of recognition. How often do we see people recording their good deeds, sharing them online, or making sure others notice their acts of charity? But the Buddha teaches us that a good deed brings joy to the heart, whether seen or unseen. This simple truth reminds us that the purest form of kindness does not seek applause, attention, or validation. Real generosity comes from a place of compassion, not from a desire to be acknowledged. Have you ever helped someone without expecting anything in return? Perhaps you held the door open for a stranger, gave food to someone in need, or supported a friend through a difficult time without telling anyone. That feeling, the quiet warmth that fills your heart, is the only reward that truly matters. But in today's world, where social media thrives on recognition, many people perform good deeds for the sake of being noticed. Someone donates to charity but ensures their name is displayed on the donors list. Another helps a struggling friend, but later reminds them of their generosity, expecting gratitude in return. While these acts may still bring some benefit to others, they lack the selflessness that makes true kindness so powerful. The Buddha once told a story of a man who gave generously, but only when people were watching. One day, a wise monk asked him, "If no one saw your kindness, would you still do it?" The man hesitated, realizing that his charity was not truly about helping others, but about feeding his own ego. Genuine acts of kindness require no audience. Think about the parents who sacrifice so much for their children, never expecting praise. The teacher who stays late to help a struggling student, not for a reward, but because they care. The friend who listens without judgment, offering their presence without seeking anything in return. These quiet acts of goodness may never be acknowledged, but they create ripples that touch lives in ways we may never fully realize. The true measure of kindness is not in how many people witness it, but in the sincerity behind it. The Bhagavad Gita echoes this wisdom. Perform your duty without attachment to the results. This means doing what is right simply because it is right, not because of the recognition it may bring. Now, ask yourself, when was the last time you did something kind without telling anyone? When was the last time you helped someone without expecting a thank you? If your kindness is truly selfless, then the act itself is enough. Next time you see someone in need, offer help without hesitation, without thinking about what you might gain from it. Donate anonymously. Give without expecting anything in return, and let your actions be an offering to the world. True kindness does not need validation. It is its own reward. There is a beautiful Buddhist story about a monk who lived near a river. Every morning, before beginning his meditation, he would collect stones and place them carefully along the riverbank to prevent erosion. A passerby once asked, "Why do you do this? No one even notices." The monk smiled and replied, "The river knows. The land knows, and I know that is enough. This wisdom reminds us that kindness, even when unseen, carries meaning. You do not need the world's approval to make a difference. Your actions, no matter how small, hold power simply because they come from the right place. So, the next time you do something good, resist the urge to announce it. Let it be a quiet gift to the universe. Let your kindness flow like a river, expecting nothing in return, yet nourishing everything it touches. The greatest acts of compassion are often the ones no one sees, and the purest joy comes from knowing you have made the world a little better, whether or not anyone else ever knows. Silence isn't emptiness, it's the language of wisdom. In a world filled with noise, those who listen with awareness find clarity and strength. As we navigate this powerful energy shift from March 9 to 15, protect your inner peace, choose your words wisely, and trust the path unfolding before you. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like this video, share it with others who may need this wisdom, and subscribe to the Journey of Wisdom. Turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming insights. Until next time, stay mindful, stay kind, and keep growing.